Okay, my landline died and my fax line both died yesterday. Um, sometime before that, maybe the day before, I tried faxing something to Matt Dow, and I got this like weird report that printed out that said, you're not connected you're not connected to a phone line. Install the phone line properly, and it's like I didn't do anything to the phone line. The phone line is just fine. Um, but I'm assuming that it's just not faxing to him. And now it's like, yeah, if I try to even enter a fax number, it won't fax it to him. And the same thing happens when I try and do a landline phone call. I put the phone, input the number, and then you hit dial on the phone, and then it's supposed to dial, and I can hear it like ringing on the other end. And now it's like I input the number and then hit dial, and it goes neat, 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 and it's like, uh, oh, okay, what is going on here? Like, did the phone die? Um, is it that Bell has finally just canceled landlines? Sorry, we don't have landlines anymore for anybody. You were the last guy or one of the last 10 people, and there you go. You're all done. So that leads to a question for you, which is, do you know what a burner phone is and how that works? Because I've been hearing about people crossing into the US, and some people are recommending for other people, just get a burner phone. Don't take your own phone across, because they'll look at it, and if you're saying something nasty about Donald Trump on social media or anything else that's on your phone, you can get arrested. Which, okay, maybe that happens, maybe that doesn't happen, but how does a burner phone fix that, and what does a burner phone do? I know you hear about them in association with criminal gangs, like they use burner phones so that they can't be traced. But is it like I guess the questions that I would have would be, is it like a really cheap phone where you're just buying a phone that costs $40 or $50 or something, and it doesn't do all of the bells and whistles stuff? It's just a phone. So okay, I'll leave that with you. Can you look into that? Um, because one of the situations that I've had with um, Bell Canada, which I have one contract with for the landline, and with Rogers, which is the outfit that does the fax calling and long distance calling. The long distance program is with Rogers. Rogers is like $50 a month, and Bell Canada is like $427 a month and going up. So it's like, I think I know what they're doing. They're saying, like, look, at some point you're going to have to give up, because we're just going to keep charging more and more and more for this landline, because we're not doing landlines anymore. And I do get Rogers representatives and Bell representatives coming to the door a lot, going, "Hi, we noticed that you're not with us. We've got a program that for $75 a month you'll get the internet, you get cell phone, and you get television, uh, all included in a package." And it's like, and I have to explain to them, I don't want those. I've just got a landline, and then they go, "You don't have a cell phone?" And it's like, I don't have time for this. It's like, this is about the fifth or sixth time that I've explained it to whoever has come to the door. No, I don't want that. I don't want the internet in my house. If I need to be on the internet, I can just go to a Wi-Fi place and do it there. Um, and There was a guy last week. I think it was last week. It's the days all run together in terms of this stuff. And he was out front of the off White House and sort of like pacing back and forth and talking on his phone. And as I got, and I'm going like, well, that's a little strange to begin with. So I'm on kind of high alert. And then as I'm getting closer, I can see the lanyard around his neck and it says Bell. And it's like, are you the guy that lives here? It's like, yeah, I don't have time to talk to you today. I'm sorry, I'm busy, I'm working. It's like, I just needed a few minutes. No, I don't have time for this. I know exactly how the conversation is going to go. And you're going to go, you don't have a cell phone? Like, how do you talk to people? And, blah, 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 blah. It's like, I don't have time to have the same conversation with you that I've had with the last 5 Bell reps and Rogers reps going, I don't want this. So, a couple of times I've been saying to myself, I'm 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 cutting down on the correspondence. I think you saw the correspondence for April was like very, very thin, but I'm still writing too many faxes. Like type them on the computer, print them out, fax them to whoever it needs to go to, and it's like, okay, that took X amount of time to write and then X amount of time to fax. And I'd really rather be working on Ninja High School or Strange Death of Alex Raymond. And is there a better way to do this? Which is why I'm now recording this, sitting and talking to you, going, okay, I could type this. This is what I was thinking yesterday. I have to explain this to everybody that I'm in contact with. Here's what's going on. But I don't want to have the conversation with Rolly, which I'm having right now, and have to type it out and get you to email it to Birdsong and Dow explaining, okay, this is what happened, and I don't know what I'm going to do about it, but this is one of the solutions that I've been thinking about is it, when these things hit, and they always hit, where it's like, this is going to take a lot of explaining, and I'm not getting paid to explain stuff, so I'll try and cut it down as much as possible, but I still don't know what I'm doing. So this is one step of going, all right, everybody's going to get this weird email from Rolly today going, what is this? It's an audio file. Why am I getting an audio file from Rolly? If I get something from Rolly, it's a scan or something like that. So this is like step one in terms of going, okay, this covers what's going on. What I think I'm going to do is just stop having a phone. 519-576-0610, which has existed, I'm pretty sure, since the early 1980s, will just not exist anymore. I'll get you to contact Bell Canada and go, no, this is a senior and I take care of his business correspondence and banking and stuff like that. And no, he doesn't want to have this phone anymore. And we'll see. I won't get you to phone them. You can do it by email, where I think you're a lot more comfortable corresponding that way. I have to explain something about this senior, and he just wants this phone gone. And then the reason that I'm trying this is that I got so much more work done yesterday, and there was so much less stress, because it's like, how many times am I going upstairs to see if there's a fax or there's a phone message? And it's like, I'm good at prioritizing. When it comes in, I look at it and go, okay, I know exactly what I have to say to Birdsong, but I don't have to say it right now. I'm working on my Strange Death of Alex Raymond page. Then there's a phone message, and it's like, okay, check the phone message. Is this something that, I have to phone Chad at HFK right now and say I got this phone message from Revenue Canada about this specific thing, and can you look into that kind of thing. The number of times that there's an actual phone emergency or something that couldn't have been dealt with otherwise, almost minuscule. Which leads into one of the um, things that we have to cover today. I got a phone mess. Okay, I'm going to stop it there. No. So it's like yesterday was Wednesday, and ordinarily Wednesday you pick up the mail, and then it becomes like a conflict for me, um, where I want to finish doing my Ninja High School page, but I've got the mail, go through the mail, see if there's any emergencies here, and then it's, do I answer the mail? Do I keep working on the page? And usually the stuff that comes in, yes, I can fax stuff to Matt Dow and type an explanation or type a short fax that I faxed to him, and I couldn't do that yesterday. So it's like, but this is really good in the same way that when I got the phone, the physical phone, uh, and it was dysfunctional. It's if a phone call came in and I picked up the receiver and tried to answer it, it would disconnect um, the phone. So it's like, okay, it always has to be on speakerphone, and I can only phone out. I can't take phone calls from anybody. And it's like, I was really pissed off about that. It's like, whatever I paid for this, like $85 or something like that from Staples or wherever I got the phone. Uh, but it's like that cut down dramatically on my workload because I couldn't phone out, or I couldn't take a phone. So I turned the ringer off, and it's like, okay, now I'm not having to deal with all of these phone people, in the middle of the day that have nothing to do with anything, but I still have to answer the phone and deal with this. So it seems to be pointing in the direction of you just don't need a phone. Um, like part of what I'm concerned about is, well, you kind of need a phone as a senior in case something happens to you. But that's another thing that I can maybe get you to look into, which is that there are security things that you can get where I would wear a beeper or whatever it is, and anytime it stops for, an unpredictable amount of time and isn't vertical, it means, okay, he fell down and he's not moving. So we'll send somebody over there to check on him, kind of thing. So if I had that, it would still be better than what I have, because I have thought a number of times, if I fall in here, going down the steps into the basement or something like that, um, the odds are, unless it happened on a Wednesday, it would be another week until Rolly actually showed up. Um, you might try phoning and leaving a message about something, and if you don't hear from me, you go, okay, that's a little weird. Dave would ordinarily get back to me right away. But how many times does that happen in an average week of you even phoning about anything? So there's that side of it. And then, yes, I did the mail yesterday. Um, no, this is the police old stuff. There's the mail. Okay. And it's like this is all stuff that I would have faxed to Matt Dow. So it would mean it's going to escalate the amount of work that you have to do in terms of anything that I would have photocopied and then faxed to Matt Dow would now need to be scanned and emailed to Matt Dow. Um, but again, the volume of stuff is way down from what it used to be. Um, but as an example, this is filed April 14th, 2025. This is because I'm a creditor, or actually a one of Diamond's suppliers. This is the latest information. It's nothing that I'm even remotely interested in, but it would need to be scanned and sent to Matt Dow, as I'm trying to keep everybody up to date on whatever's going on with Diamond, even though it doesn't seem to really say anything. It's and that was mid-April, and by the end of April, we found out that Alliance Games had bought Diamond, and as far as we know, that's the latest on that one. But I did want to send that. This okay. This is from J Tunes, who's in Taiwan, and sent me his comic book. And this is a Cerebus parody, Cerebus' Spider-Man. Dave, can I print this in Force Comics Presents #3, coming out in June or August? And it's like, I've always had the policy that if you use Cerebus as a raw material in anything, you can just go ahead and use it. It's up to you. I think the reason that he was doing that is because the last caption says, "Unfortunately, dear readers, we had to end this story abruptly. The writer was foolish enough to write in a potentially fatal injury of our main character, and the artist was dumb enough to draw it. Then they tossed in another wholly unauthorized cameo from the pages of Cerebus. Now the copyright police are zeroing in on the whole Force Comics team, all one of them, for sure. Forget you read this." And it's like, I'm not going after J Tunes. I don't know if he uses his real name. His real name, Joshua Warren, is on all of his artwork. So, and then there's a very nice 2-page letter from J Tunes, and he does have an email address. So I would say if you can scan the 2-page letter and email that to Matt Dow, I think Joshua is a really good cartoonist. He's not productive, but he does good comics. So okay, that's that one. This is, at least to this point, the last fax from David Birdsong, where he's telling me that it's okay to go ahead with Can 12. And so you'd be keeping that in a separate Can 12 file of here's where it started, here's the information in it. he's still doing the same thing of putting personal information in faxes that he's sending to me about things like Can 12, and it's like, well, I want this to go to a moment of Cerebus, um, so that they're starting from square one as well. Here's and everybody, um, who goes to a moment of Cerebus can go, oh, okay, they're starting to talk about Can 12, and it's like everybody's on the same page. We don't have to keep explaining stuff, you know, ad infinitum. It's just go back to the beginning of this, and it'll tell you. And um, I've mentioned it, the bird song, before, but you know, don't put something in the fax that you don't want going on a moment of Cerebus. So I don't know what the case is with this one. If he would go, no, I'm fine, just put it up there. I was going to sit down and take a photocopy and go, okay, this is personal stuff. I'll black all of this out so that it's just information about Can 12. So, um, Matt, you're listening to this. Birdsong, you're listening to this. That's the situation that I'm in. You look like you want to say something. And this one is ordinarily, I would send this, I would fax this to Matt Dow. I don't know if this is a scam. This one's from Melissa and family. And I don't know if somebody's just being funny, misspelling Cerebus's name, and asking for free drawings. But it's like, well, okay, it didn't take long to do the drawings. So that was what I just dropped in the mailbox. I did three drawings. One, it just says Melissa and family, and there was three cards in it. So I signed one of them to Melissa, and I signed one of them to Melissa's eldest child, and then one to Melissa's youngest child, and I wrote Melissa's address on the drawing, so that it's like, well, okay, if you want to just sell this on eBay, it's going to have your address on it. So I don't know if that's like a poison pill. It would be a little weird for Melissa to get it in and go like, why did he write my address on this? Because I don't know if you're an actual person, and in which case it's like I get one of these a week. On rare occasions I'll get two of them, and then okay, well, while I'm working out in my head what it is that I'm going to do, or what it is that I have to write to Matt Dow, or whatever it is I have to explain, it's no problem doing three Cerebus head sketches. Get the envelope out that's already pre-done. We got a bunch of them back here, sitting here with the stickers on them, and then just we're off to the races. But that is one of those. Well, okay, if you want to know what being famous is like, there you go. You get letters like this and go, all right, I'm going to look like a putz here in their eyes, going, doesn't this guy know that I'm just scamming him for free artwork? And it's like, it did enter my mind, but for the amount of time it takes to do three head sketches, I will do three head sketches. That I just thought was interesting. That's Joshua's envelope, um, with some of the "Do Not Bend" in Taiwanese. uh, this one, this came in from Byron David Dunbar. Oh, wait a second. I just want one of these. Okay, this seems to be working not too bad. That's like, I did take a while to explain to you
Yeah.
about the phone itself. Um, and now we're actually covering stuff that I would have faxed to Matt Dow, which I can't fax to Matt Dow. And I appreciated the fact that Byron David Dunbar did fax this to me. A lot of people won't do faxing, and obviously he looked into it. Dear Dave, I hope this message finds you well. I'm writing to inquire whether you are still offering the one-day Aardvark Vanaheim shadowing sessions at the rate of $1,000. I am potentially interested as I am currently conducting research into the process of self-publishing comic books and would value the opportunity to gain firsthand insight into the day-to-day operations of an independent publisher. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to your response, Byron. And those come in with email addresses on them as well, right? Like, all right. Hi, Byron. I don't know what I was thinking. I'd either do a lousy job of mentoring or a lousy job of whatever I was doing, or mostly both. As an experiment, if you wanted to note, donate $1,000 at cerebusdownloads.com. I'll give you feedback on whatever you send me. I.e., don't wait until you have a comic book or two done, and let you know when I think the meter has hit $1,000 Canadian. It's easier to donate Canadian dollars than U.S. dollars, so that would be roughly $700 U.S. at the moment. In the meantime, you might want to buy the Guide to Self-Publishing at the same site and see how many of your questions it answers. Good luck. Okay, so I just did that, reading the whole thing, but that wasn't really necessary. I'm thinking, well, I'm getting that far with it. It's like, it's got the email address on it. I could have gotten you to scan it and email it to him and to Matt Dow as this is an FYI for AMIC. This is not something that I can picture doing a lot of, but that sort of thing is in the same category of if somebody send me a comic book and is going, I realize I'm taking up your time, so here's $1,000. Then it's like, okay, I look at it, I know exactly what it is that I have to tell them. You need to work on this, and you need to work on this, and this other thing. This is really good. I play this up, all that kind of stuff, and I can be doing that while working on a Strange Death of Alex Raymond page. And then I was doing that when I thought I still had fax capability, so I got it all written out. It would probably be handled this way, except that I won't be getting faxes in anymore, as far as I know. This was, for a moment of Cerebus, this was Canyon Frost. It was a question that they asked on Please Hold, and I accidentally skipped over it. I didn't answer their question, so this was answering their question. I think this was the last one that Matt Dow did get, but I might be misremembering that. So that one I will get you to scan and send to Matt Dow. And if you can ask Matt when you send it to him, did you get this before? Then I'll have a clear idea of, okay, what were the last faxes that went out successfully? The same thing with David Birdsong's fax. I think I faxed that back to him and it got to him, but we'll have to ask David Birdsong and see what he has to say. Okay, that covers the mail. No, that doesn't cover the mail. Hang on. Next. So Kristen Hunwardson had sent a package yesterday, and I had told Kristen, I'm not doing any commissions right now, but it was obviously a comic book that he was sending to me. So it's like, okay, well, I'll take a look at it, maybe stretch a point, and actually do a commission for him, but just say, this is going to be down the line, and this will be after I've gotten the Strange Death of Alex Raymond and after I've gotten the Ninja High School page done for the week. And it turned out, no, it wasn't a commission piece. It was a birthday present from Kristen Hunwardson, and it's Flash Gordon #1 from 1950, which I was quite jazzed about, and of course went straight to my Overstreet guide and went, okay, what series was this? And this was through Harvey Comics, and there were only 4 issues in 1950. But what's interesting about it is that it is a Flash Gordon story from 1940, drawn by Alex Raymond in comic book form. So, with the 2 Rip Kirby's that the patroness sent me for a Christmas present a couple of Christmases ago, which are Rip Kirby strips drawn by Alex Raymond in comic book form, I'm closing in on all of the comic books that were actually done by Alex Raymond, because there was only 4 of Flash Gordon, and it was really good. I appreciated it, Kristen, that it's not slabbed, so I can actually pull it out and read it. And there was an ad for, coincidentally, Joe Palooka, Ham Fisher's Joe Palooka, which I'm just working on, Comic Art Metaphysics, right now on Strange Death of Alex Raymond. And an ad for, what was the other one? Blondie. And Flash Gordon only lasted for like 4 issues as a Harvey comic in 1950. Joe Palooka, I forget what it. Oh, no, I didn't bring the Overstreet Guide up, but Joe Palooka lasted like 116 issues or 200 issues. Um, Blondie didn't even do as good as that, and nobody even knows who Ham Fisher and Joe Palooka are. And that's one of the things that I'm explaining in Strange Death of Alex Raymond right this moment. This is the pages that I'm working on. So an amazing birthday gift. Thank you, Kristen. He went, you probably already have one of these. It's like, not only do I not have one of these, I've never even seen one of these. And it's really weird because I looked at it in the Overstreet Guide, and it says bondage cover. And it's like I'm going, what are you? Oh, yes, Dale Arden is tied to the side of the rocket ship. So that qualifies as a bondage cover. I'm sure if you're into bondage, you can do much better on the internet than Dale Arden tied to the side of a rocket ship. And not only that, if you were going, okay, this is Flash Gordon #1 in 1950. The banner is Interplanet Adventures of Flash Gordon. It's interplanetary. It's not interplanet. There's no such thing as term as interplanet. But it's a very interesting cover because it's definitely somebody doing Raymond, doing their best. They've been a Flash Gordon fan all of their lives, and remember Alex Raymond working on Flash Gordon, which he hadn't done since 1945, but they're doing their absolute best on it. The Dale Arden actually looks Alex Raymond like, and the Flash Gordon head looks sort of Alex Raymond like, but just an enthusiastic fan doing the best they could. So I'm going to shut this off now and get you to take a picture of me with the Flash Gordon number. So Kristen had actually left a phone message about this. I can get you to just scan his letter and email it. And one of the things that he mentioned was for Can 12, when we got that rolling, the Christmas ornament, which I've already given you your Christmas ornament. I've got my Christmas ornament. And Kristen actually went to the trouble of getting 3 more Christmas ornaments done, and he's donating them to the Can 12 campaign. so that anybody who wants the only other three Christmas tree, Cerebus Christmas tree ornaments, that'll be one of the Rick Stories prizes for Can 12. So I'm gonna get you to take a picture of me holding up those three as well. If I can.